Hi, and welcome to the pod, the Pit of Doom. Thank you once again for joining me. And yes, we have trains running as you saw in the intro, and we're going to have a little bit of a running session today. I'm going to show you some bits and pieces I've done, and hopefully we're cracking on now. So this is the Class 22 just coming up from the Wentford Bridge branch with the China Clays. And that's running into the station. It then has to run around, split the train, put the brake van on the other end, and then go back out on the other line up to Bodmin Road. So we'll have a little play around and we'll do some bits and pieces, and I'll catch you at the end of the video. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks. And so officially the first running train on Trewithen coming in. And Loco will have to run around, put the brake van on the other end and then go down the other line. In actual fact, that is actually coming on the wrong line. That one, there's a loaded train, would normally come up on the branch from Wentford Bridge, which is the one that would come through the tunnel. So it comes from the same siding in the fiddle yard and then runs round and goes back to that siding. So there we go. So that's the first train of the day, and pleased with that. I have to say the Hymek is not my favourite Loco, but they were common as muck, as they say, down that part of the country, so it has to be. So that one's in, and the people will go out, and they'll go up to the pub for lunch, I expect. Once I put some steps in to get up there, of course. There we go. They've got the Hymek in the station still, waiting to depart, and that will go to Bodmin Road. So got a little Ford Thames there, same as I used to have. I actually went from Portsmouth to Fort William in Scotland in that for the Scottish 6 Days Trials in 1970 in one of those. Yeah, I had 3 punctures in 3 days. There we go, camped out in that. That was great fun. God, no, well, yeah, 1970. Right, so station area, as we said, is coming on nice now. I fitted the station lamps. I've still got to go underneath and wire them up. I was hoping to do it in one go, but I haven't done. But what I have done is the buildings back here. I've blacked out blanked out really the rear windows so it won't throw a light onto the back scene, and I've painted the inside in black paint and blocked off some of the windows, and on this one I've put a couple of red lights there, so that will just give me a nice red glow inside the pub, and a similar thing there. I'll black that one out and put a false roof in there to blank out some of the windows and put curtains in some of the upstairs windows. I'm hoping things like the pub and the cottages there, I'll be able to detail the inside a bit more later on, same thing there, blacked out the rear windows, giving it a coat of black inside so the light won't come through the resin. So they're all done, and that's roughly how I want this area to look. So we'll have a little wall in front of the chapel, some sort of entrance about here for a little car park in the chapel, a driveway in here for the cottage there, and a bit of a garden. And then I'll put a temporary wall there just for now, and there'll be a similar wall going in front of that cottage there, and a bit of pavement. And then I've still got 2 more lamp posts to put in. Probably going to put a lamp post around about this corner here somewhere, and maybe one up there. I've still got to sort that out. So yeah, the lamp posts, when they arrive, they're in black, and I've painted them up, and they actually come out quite nice. I'm pleased with those. So may not be perfect, but they're good. And then moving on down, where the junction's going to go off for the Wentford Bridge branch, there'll be a tunnel mouth around about there somewhere. So it looks as though the track's going in the opposite direction to the one to the left. And then this one, the main one, will come around. And then it may not be a tunnel mouth, but it will just disappear somewhere around about here into a cutting before it goes on round. On the fiddle yard, I've laid the tracks on the fiddle yard now. They're all done, and that swings around, so I can line up any of those 5 tracks with what is the main track there. So that's the track that splits and goes around the back to pretend it's coming from Wentford Bridge, and the one in the foreground, which is the Bodmin Road track. And then I haven't laid the tracks on the back here yet. Those 4 there will just be dead end sidings, and they'll go up there just to store extra stock on, so I can bring it into the fiddle yard and then back it up onto there. I'm not even sure if I'll bother to wire that, to be honest with you, because being in the fiddle yard I can just push the tracks up there. The nearest one, I've got a set of points here, so the nearest one splits into 2 short ones for the sort of milk tanks and small parcels train or whatever. So that's where we are with this. Let's do a little bit more running, and then we'll finish off on this short video. And so the first passenger departure from Trewithen back to Bodmin Road, assuming the signals have been done properly, of course, which are not fitted yet, but there we go. Another arrival is the point rodding ready for the layout from Model Signal Engineering, and so we've got enough stalls, we've got the square rods, and I've also got some ladders that will go on the harbour side as well. So that's another little job to do before I paint the rail sides and ballast. A couple of people have asked why I haven't got the engine shed and the siding, the passenger coach siding, on here. On the actual Bodmin General, the distance between the end of the platform and this point here is actually quite a long way, and between there and there is a point that goes in, and there's a siding that takes 2 or 3 coaches, and there's also the engine shed which sits in the area along here. Due to the length, I can't replicate that. If I did, it would mean that this point here would end up being around there somewhere, and it's not really what I wanted. So I've done away with that siding. I've done away with the engine shed, and the dairy will go into this area here now. So hopefully that will give me a little bit more operation, obviously, with the dairy, and it hasn't spoilt the layout too much. I have to assume that locos and coaching stock go back up to Bodmin Road for the overnight, and then work the first train down of a morning, last train back at night, rather than stabling here at Trewithen. So that's the reason for that. I haven't got the length to be able to do it exact, and certainly there wouldn't be the curve off to the left like there is here at the moment. That curve goes a lot further down, and as I say, on the original there's a long piece of straight track between the end of the platform and goods yard and the actual junction off to Winford Bridge. So that's that. And this time I've got the 42XX on the clays, which is the 280 prairie tank. Normally that wouldn't be seen there, it won't be seen normally until such time as it comes out through the tunnel mouth, because that's coming up from the Winford Bridge line. So that would come into the station there. It then has to run around its train and put the brake van on the other end, and normally that would have to split its load because the gradient up to Bodmin Road apparently was quite steep, and it had to be taken up there as two laden trains but half the length. So there we go, so that's that one in now. It just needs to do the uncouple and run around. And a new addition to the fleet today, which is D835 Pegasus. This is its first run. It still needs all the pipe work put on and detailing, but straight out the box.